Hey guys, welcome to day 5 of our Pantry No Spend Challenge. I finally wore through my leather gloves and it's time for me to go check and see what I have in stock to replace these. And then I'm going to turn these over to Steve and see during our No Spend Challenge what he can make out of these.
Hey guys, Marilyn dropped off one of her gloves. She goes through gloves pretty quick. And today what we're going to do is try to make something out of this. So what I'm going to make, since we've been using cast iron a lot, it's that time of the year. We're doing a lot of cooking on the wood stove. But we also use cast iron on the wood stove outside. So I like to make these little pot holders. They're super simple to make. You don't have to know how to really work with leather. You don't need to do any fancy stitches. And all you really need for leather, so that we don't have to buy anything, is the first one I made out of the tongue of an old work boot. And the second one I made out of an old glove. So that's what we're going to use. All I need is about 4 inches by 5 inches of leather, which I can get right here out of the back of this glove. And the way these work, no matter what brand you have, the pot holder sticks right on the handle like this so that you don't burn your hand picking it up. It could be Lodge, Griswold, Wagner. The brand really doesn't matter. The size is pretty much standardized. They're going to be a little bit different, but when I originally made this and designed this, I made it so that it would fit all of our pans. You can see it just slides on. And that leather gives you enough barrier to protect your hand from getting burned. We don't want to use any synthetic materials making this. So what we're going to need is a piece of leather approximately 4 by 5 inches that we can put our pattern on. I made this pattern a while back when I made the original one, and it's gone through revisions and gotten written on and folded up and extra holes punched. But I finally got this all neatened up. It is on our webpage. It's associated with a blog there. I'll make sure to put a link in the description. You can print this out for free. You can read the blog and probably get a better idea of how I'm doing this rather than just watching the video. So let's get started. I'm going to take that glove, cut the back off, we'll get our scrap of leather, and then I'll show you what we need from there. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to use a pair of scissors because this is fairly thin leather. If you've got thicker leather, you can cut this with a sharp blade like an X-Acto knife or something like that. Just get this little strap out of the way. I'm going to try to get as much out of this as I can. I'm going to cut right along the seam here, right across the fingers. And if it's a little larger than we need, that's fine. We'll put the pattern on it and draw out exactly what we need, and then we'll refine the cut after that. But let me get this cut out first. And like I said, this leather is thin enough that I can use a pair of scissors to cut it. Okay. And there we go. So here's our piece of leather. I'm going to keep this because a lot of the projects I do, I may just need a little strap of leather, or I may need, she didn't leave me any good fingers. Sometimes just the finger of a glove can be used as a small pot holder or a little pouch type of thing. But she didn't leave me any good fingers. She really used her glove up. So let's toss this over with the rest of my scrap leather and we'll move on from this piece here. I got a big M on it, so I'm gonna use this side. Well, I got that leather piece cut out. We're going to be cutting it pretty close. This is about the minimum that I want to use. I went to our webpage, and I'll make sure to have a link down in the description that goes to the blog. I printed out a new template, so I'm not using the old one. And I'm just going to put this on my leather piece here. Make sure everything fits. And like I said, just fits. I'm just going to trace this template onto the leather, and then I'll know where I need to cut. Now, if you're worried about lines on your project, you can always make the lines on what are going to be the inside of the pot holder. That way you're not going to see them anyway. I probably should have done it on the side that had a big M on it, but maybe what I'll do is I'll make that the outside of mine, and then Marilyn will know whose pot holders are whose. Sounds silly, but hey, we label our gloves. Not that her gloves will fit my hands, but it's just easy. A big M. Those are Marilyn's gloves. Big M. Okay, I'll get this all traced out. And then, once this is traced, next thing to do is just use our scissors and cut it out. Okay, and like I said, this leather is so thin I can cut with scissors. If you're working with something thicker, you may want to use a sharp blade, an X-Acto knife, or some kind of a cutter. One of those rolling cutters works really good on leather. But for me, these are really good scissors for one, and then the leather's really not that thick. So I'm just gonna cut along that outer line that we traced. Let me get this fully cut out, and then I'll bring you back for the next part, and that'll be punching the holes. Well, I got my piece all cut out, and then what I did is I used I have one of these hole punches, one of these leather hole punches. I want to make sure the holes are just big enough to let my leather cord go through. I don't want them to be too big, otherwise the cord's going to be loose, there's going to be openings, and I want to make sure this is as tight as possible. And I don't want them to be so small, like if I just punch the hole with an awl, that it's going to be too difficult for me to put this thing together, because I'm not planning on using a needle or anything like that. I'm just winding the leather right through the holes. But anyway, what I did is I pre-punched my template where all those appropriate marks are. That way I can just take my template now, set it onto my leather, make sure it's where it needs to be. And then with a pen, I'm just going to mark where each of those holes are so that I can go through later with the hole punch and punch those holes out. So let me get this marked, and then I'll bring you back when we start punching holes. Well, I got all the holes marked out along the edges, and I had to get my glasses for this one because I don't want to mess this part up. So now I'm just going to use my hole punch and pop out each of those holes that we just marked out. Once I get all these punched, I'll bring you back and we'll start lacing it up. All right, I've got all the holes punched out. So now it's time to fold this all up and just start lacing it. On the template, anywhere there's a dotted line, those are where we're going to be folding the leather. So for instance, the top here is going to fold in. I'm not going to worry about that quite yet. But then the sides fold over. And this will be our finished pot holder after it's all laced up. So to start lacing, this is probably the hardest part of the entire project, is trying to get this leather cord through these holes. If I had smaller pieces, something a little bit thinner, it might work a little easier. I'm just using what I've got. You're gonna want about 24 inches of cord. And you don't want to use something synthetic. Don't use something like a shoelace or paracord, because if you go to pick up a hot pan and you've got synthetic laces holding it together, they're just going to melt all over the pan. They're going to burn you. Don't do it. One thing that Marilyn had brought up that I thought was kind of funny what she said for the holes here, don't use, if you do leather working, you can get little grommets, little eyelets, like if you're gonna make a shoe or a boot or something. Don't use little metal eyelets when you're lacing this up. Again, they're gonna get really hot and your hand is gonna be gripping this. So just stick with it. Simple leather. This isn't anything I'm going to be selling at a craft fair. It's something that we're going to be using here, and it has a very rustic look to it. And that's just the way it is. If you make fancier pot holders, let me know below. I'd like to see how you do it, but I'll show you how I lace these up. I'm going to start from the inside, and I'll call this the open end. Not the fancy cut end, just the one that's straight. That's the end that the pot handle is going to slip into. I'm going to start there on the inside and pull the lace through. And then I'm going to go to the corresponding hole on the other side and bring it in. If any of this stitching seems confusing, it probably is. I'm not very good at this as far as giving a tutorial. But I wrote it out pretty clear in the blog. I also took some close-up videos and I drew a diagram of how this is laced. But once you get it started with just this piece that connects the two sides together, we're going to come under with an X, then we're going to go over with an X, under with an X, over with an X, and I'll show you what that looks like after it's laced up. You'll see what I mean, but what we'll end up with is 3 X's of leather cord on the outside of this. Once I get to that point, I'll bring you back and I'll show you how I knot it off. I just finished lacing this up, and this is what I was talking about with, you should see 3 X's on top, and there are underneath 1, 2, 3 X's inside, not that you can see in there, but inside of our little pot holder. The laces come out the top like this, and just to hold everything together, I'm going to do a simple overhand knot, just like that. You can do a double overhand knot if you want. There we go. And that holds the whole thing together. And then one last thing that I usually do with these is I'll take these tag ends and then I'll just make, again, another simple knot right at the top. And then I'll just use my scissors to cut that tag end off. So now I can hang this up with my pots and it's ready to use. Well, ready for Marilyn to use. She knows which one hers is now. So let's give this a shot on a couple pots, make sure it fits all of our pots well, and we'll talk about what we did today. Because it really wasn't about making a pot holder. It was about making something from what was going to be garbage. Or if you're in a situation where you need something, finding a way to do it at home without going out and just buying stuff. Well, another project done and out of the way. And we're going to talk a little bit more about pantries and how our pantry really extends beyond our food pantry. It also has to do with other things that you may have. You know, people will include, say, their peanut butter, their vegetables and all that as their pantry, but also toilet paper, paper plates, paper towels, kitchen wrap, aluminum foil, plastic bags. We go a little further than that. We also include hardware, nuts, bolts, screws, nails. We make sure all of our tools are in working order and that everything is there. And anything that may break, we have a backup of, or at least a plan to work around it or fix it.
Yep. These are very handy. We use our wood stove for our main source of heat and for cooking, basically from mid-October until the beginning of May, depending on the weather. Mm-hmm. And these come in handy because I'm always forgetting to grab a pot holder, and we have these hanging right next to our pans. So this works out great for me. It's also a great use of something that otherwise most people would just throw in the trash. Now, for us, gloves, especially the leather gloves, are really important because if you're on a homestead, if you're carrying wood every day and doing a lot of that kind of stuff, you need something that's going to protect your hands. But we also keep a supply of the vinyl gloves for emergencies or medical issues.
Nitrile.
Yep. We have regular rubber gloves. We've got
Cloth gardening gloves.
Leather
gloves are good, especially this time of the year when we're working with wood. Cloth gloves aren't going to protect your hand from splinters. And some of the wood that we process is hickory, and it's got lots of shards coming off of it, wooden spears that are just waiting to dig in.
Yep.
And having a good pair of leather gloves is always important. So we make sure to not only have one pair, but we have extras, because in the span of a year, we'll probably each go through 1 or 2 pair of gloves.
Yeah. Now, gloves, even if you're not on a homestead or doing that kind of work, having an extra pair of gloves that maybe you keep a pair of gloves, a hat, and a scarf extra in your car during the winter, just in case. That way you've got those. You may never need to use them. Just put them into that center compartment between the seats. If your car breaks down and you need something to keep warm, to walk to a gas station or whatever the case may be, you've got something with you. So we always have that as well. Mm-hmm. Now,
you may not want to make a pot holder. Years ago when I was growing up, that piece that I cut out, the back side of the glove, my mom would keep stuff like that, and she'd use it for patching. She'd either patch elbows or knees on pants, any area that weared out really fast on your clothes, she'd patch with leather, and it would always last longer.
Yep. And if you're good at sewing, you know those expensive high-end pants that have the reinforced knees are very expensive. And if you can sew something that's the equivalent of that yourself, using scraps that you may have left over from canvas pants or an old jacket, it's really also a money saver.
Yeah. Anyway, so today, what is it, day 5 of the Pantry No Spend Challenge?
Yes.
We focused on other things that we have in our pantry, not just food, and what you can do with those things rather than just throw them away. So hopefully this helped. Maybe it got some ideas spinning about what you need to check in your extended pantry.
Yep. And we will continue to talk about our pantry, the different parts of the pantry, different recipes, things we can make either to go in our pantry or from our pantry. And we'll also talk more about different things that fall into that no spend. We have a make, do, and mend process that we follow. We'll talk more about that in another video as well.
Yep. And we'll possibly, if all goes well, we have something we're trying to communicate with somebody on Facebook Marketplace. We may have an episode where we go shopping without spending any money.
Yeah. So we will talk to you tomorrow. And until then, everybody, take care.
Bye.